Today's movie is a special request from Patreon supporter Ryan Walterson, who asked me to review Killer Klowns from Outer Space. And as you can probably tell from the title, this is a movie that was practically tailor-made for this show. I've done a good amount of cult classics on here before, but this one is arguably the cultiest of them all. It's like if there was a movie called Dinosaur Titties from Japan. It doesn't matter what the movie's like, I'd have to do a video on it just based on the title alone. So as I've mentioned several times before on this show, the 80s were full of over-the-top homages to monster flicks from the 1950s. Not only were there remakes of 50s monster films, you also had things like The Deadly Spawn, The Stuff, and Night of the Creeps. Well, here's a movie that really takes a ridiculous B-movie premise and runs with it. Just the title sounds like the name of a fake movie you'd hear mentioned in a comedy. But nope, it's a real movie, and it's one that lives up to its title and then some. Produced by the Chiodo brothers, Edward, Stephen, and Charles, with Stephen also handling directing duties, the Chiodos are best known for their effects work in things like the Critter series, Ernest Scared Stupid, and Screamers. And in 1988, they decided to try their hand at directing by making the ultimate evil clown flick. Actually, you could argue that this helped kick off the whole scary clown movie genre, since it came out a full 2 years before the 1990 It TV movie. Now, a lot of movies directed by effects guys tend to be disappointing, because even if the effects are good, the stories tend to be cheesy and hard to take seriously. Well, the Chiodos seem to have anticipated this by making a movie that says, if you take any of this even remotely seriously, that's your fault, asshole. With a title as ridiculous as Killer Klowns from Outer Space, this movie is gonna need a ridiculously awesome theme song to go along with it. Pretty catchy, although still not as good as the song from Night Train to Terror.
Come on and dance with me, dance with me. Dance with me, dance with me. Everybody's got something to do, everybody but you.
Alright, to be fair though, that song is catchier than Gonorrhea. The theme song for the movie was made by punk band The Dickies, who are also known for making a cover of the Banana Splits theme, so in that case, they were the perfect choice to make a song for a movie about weird puppets. Anyway, getting to the movie, the main actor people may recognize is John Vernon, who played Dean Wormer in Animal House, here inhabiting the kind of role he was born to play, a hard-assed authority figure.
This is Mooney calling in.
Radio, what's doing, Kurt?
Nothing yet, Dave. But Friday night's just starting. You son of a bitch.
Underage drinking house? I don't blame John for being angry. This guy's got enough generic beer to kill an entire frat house. Instead of the cops, though, the teens in this movie need to worry about getting cock-blocked by the ice cream man. Seriously.
Cool off those hot lips with our tasty, frozen fruity bars, icy wicies, fudgy wudgy bars, and everyone's favorite frozen delight, the Lick-a-Stick.
You know, something about these guys tells me that truck is filled with dead children and not ice cream. Might as well get out of here. All these teenagers are really 30 anyway.
Knuckleheads.
You know those guys.
Those guys are my best friends from school.
Yeah, don't say you're friends with those guys. You're gonna reduce your chances of getting laid significantly. Here's our main character, Mike Tobacco, who's called that because he has a really bad alcohol problem. Oh, and his girlfriend's name is Debbie, because it was either that or Tiffany. Anyway, like any worthwhile monster flick, this doesn't waste time getting to the good stuff as a meteor lands in the woods. And you can't have an old-school B-movie setup like that without a kooky old man to go along with it.
Did you see that little old sky jockey zip down in their poo? Haley's Comet, and he's landed in our backyard!
Look, don't bother trying to find what landed in the woods, Grandpa. It's probably gonna be full of one thing.
Meteor shift!
Oh, my mistake. It's actually a circus tent. Might as well check it out anyway. Maybe you'll get lucky and see an elephant flip out on its trainer. Right away, this big-top spaceship tells you exactly what kind of movie you're watching. It may be over the top and silly, but it's also full of some fun and inventive touches. And don't take the old man's dog! Now who's gonna lick peanut butter off his crotch when he gets lonely? Oh, I guess nobody, because he's dead now. Meanwhile, I see John Vernon is busy trying to bust Klaus Nomi for joining a punk band.
I got him boozing it up in the park.
Well, I mean, we live in this town too. I mean, we don't have to just stay on campus.
Yeah. And it's scum like you that are killing this town.
Delinquent house!
I just had a little wine. What's the problem?
You're the problem, you little shit.
Just lighten up, Mooney. Just lighten up.
Back off, Dave.
Okay, am I the only one who thinks that if he were 30 years younger, John Vernon could have made a great Casey Jones in a Ninja Turtles movie? Mike and Debbie check out the circus tent, and normally this kind of behavior would get teens killed in an 80s horror movie, but since they're clearly not teenagers, they should be okay.
What kind of circus is this?
This is that new wave European circus fantastique.
It's pronounced Cirque du Soleil, asshole. The inside of this circus tent spaceship looks like what would happen if Tim Burton directed a remake of Forbidden Planet. No, really, if anyone just saw the title and was thinking this was going to be a boring-looking Z movie, think again.
I've never seen anything like this before. Have you?
Also what most of the reviews for this movie said.
Will you just calm down? There's gotta be a logical explanation for this.
Nobody stores cotton candy like this.
I don't know, Michael Jackson might have done something like this in the 80s. Although I think whoever this clown's plastic surgeon was went even crazier on him than Michael's did. Alright, on a serious note, the clowns here are the main reason why this movie has such a strong cult reputation. Rather than simply putting guys in clown makeup, the movie instead uses full animatronic heads for the clowns that really give them a weird, otherworldly quality. Let me put it another way, you know those creepy images that show what it would look like if cartoon characters were real? That's kinda what these clowns look like. They're exaggerated and goofy, but also kinda disturbing. Speaking of the clowns, in addition to their weird appearance, they also come with exaggerated clown gags.
Popcorn, why? Popcorn!
Because the clowns, that's why.
And you can apply that saying to pretty much any other question you might have during this movie. For example, take this next part. You know, for a movie called Killer Klowns From Outer Space, this has some surprisingly clever touches. Oh god, John Wayne Gacy's been hit with gamma rays! Quick, they're getting away. Hop on a tiny unicycle and go after him. I feel really bad for anyone in this town with a clown phobia. Mike and Debbie try to report the clowns to the police. I'm sure they'll totally believe their story.
It was a spaceship, and there was these things, killer clowns, and they...
Killer clowns from where, kid?
Killer clowns from outer space.
There, thank you, John.
Clowns, cotton candy, flying popcorn, clowns. I get it. Another one of their stupid stunts to sell ice cream from that goddamn truck those hoodlums run around in. I know you little fart.
Okay, I swear John Vernon's dialogue could consist entirely of baby noises and he'd still make it sound awesome. By the way, one of the police officers is Debbie's ex-boyfriend, Dave. I hear the reason they broke up is because she just couldn't see herself with someone who frosts his hair. Not that I would ever do anything like that. Meanwhile, the clowns are busy putting on a puppet show for a full-grown man. A full-grown man who seems to be enjoying this a little too much. I don't blame the clowns for this one, I think they just killed a potential pedo. Although that still doesn't excuse them for being rude customers. Hey, you got any Magnum condoms? You know what they say about guys with big floppy feet, don't you? Things get so bad, the clowns even start invading other 80s slasher movies. And the Slumber Party Massacre series got really weird. Oh man, I can't believe the police didn't believe our killer clown story. They didn't believe me when I said my family was murdered by mimes either. And no wonder they don't believe you. By the looks of it, the circus just left town. Well, that's it, pal. You're under arrest for lying about clowns and impersonating a teenager. Oh well, the townsfolk should learn about the clowns soon enough. This one's busy confronting the bike gang from Pee-wee's Big Adventure. Well, at least he already has the big shoes if he needs to dance to tequila. Or, you know, he could just do this.
What are you gonna do?
Knock my block off?
Decapitation!
Even though most of the clown antics here are ridiculous and silly, the movie's also not afraid to get surprisingly creepy at times. Ugh, why do I get the feeling there's gonna be a Netflix documentary about this little girl going missing? And how the hell does the mom not notice this clown? Does she just think it's a really creepy McDonald's mascot? Even if the tent is gone, there's still plenty of evidence something weird is going on here. Ugh, this is what happens when you leave the blob out in the sun too long.
Check this out.
That's the stuff!
No, this is the stuff. Get your 80s monster flick straight. Ah, I see it's time for John Vernon's mid-shift pick-me-up. He's gonna need it for all these calls he's getting.
Calm down, I can't understand you. What? Clowns, huh? Oh, they took your wife away in a balloon? Well, you don't need a police pal, you need a psychiatrist.
Clown House! A lot of the movie's runtime basically just consists of the clowns messing with and then killing people in various absurd ways. But hey, when the ideas are this inventive and the clown effects this memorable, I'm not complaining. And the effects work isn't limited to just the clown animatronics.
Boo.
Boo? What the hell do you mean, boo? Have you seen some of the other movies I've done on this show? Compared to something like Things, this looks like a fucking Star Wars movie. That reminds me, I should probably do another Godzilla movie soon. Can anything possibly stop these killer clowns from outer space?
1 Baker 5. Kurt, do you read me, over?
1 Baker 5, this is Mooney speaking.
10-4 House!
I want you to call the state police and get help. There are clowns and they are killing people, over.
Okay, Dave, that's it. Screw you and your college flunkies. Well, it's gonna take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you!
I'm sorry, can we hear that again?
Well, it's gonna take a hell of a lot more than a lame prank like this to get Curtis Mooney to throw in his badge, so fuck you!
First rule of cinema, if John Vernon's in it, he gets the only fuck you in a PG-13 movie. Mike decides to split up and go with the Terenzi brothers, and I still say we're gonna find out that these two have killed more people than the clowns have.
This whole ice cream thing was your idea.
My idea? You're the one who said we get girls this way.
No, I didn't. You did.
You did.
Alright, enough of this forced comic relief. Get back to the real funniest character in this movie.
You ain't gonna get the best of me. I made it through Korea, I can make it through this bullshit.
And also Baby Huey's Great Easter Adventure. That was way worse than this. They do have one thing in common, though. Weird, oversized puppet monsters.
Whoop the goddamn to do?
Chiodo Brothers House!
For me?
You know the worst part about that gag? That flower's hooked up to the clown's penis. Well, that does it. I'm putting you under double secret arrest, motherfucker. Alright, remember, when spending a night in jail, beat up the first person you see to avoid becoming somebody's clown bitch. Or you could just do that to the cop who put you there. Ugh, party favor house. Ugh. You know, the more this movie goes on, the more it seems like what would happen if John Waters directed Alien. Actually, that might not be too far off. For all I know, Divine could even be playing one of the clowns. But for all the destruction the clowns have caused so far, there's one thing I can't forgive him for, and that's killing John Vernon!
Hey, Dave. Who was the lady I saw you with last night? Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you.
John Vernon is Jigsaw. And even though I said that as a joke, now that I think about it, that could work.
Don't worry, Dave. All we want to do is kill you. I know you, you little fart.
How the hell are they possibly gonna stop these things? Just like you shoot zombies in the head, you shoot clowns in the nose. With all the trouble the clowns are causing all over town, I'm surprised people still don't believe Mike's story.
Look, Mike, come on. Cocoons,
popcorn guns, monster shadows. Ooh, I mean, what do you think we are?
I don't know, the Chiodo brothers? Sweet Jesus. Either the clowns are really ramping up their invasion plans, or the Macy's Thanksgiving Day parade has gotten really dark. Come on, you're supposed to throw candy at people, not encase them in it. Speaking of snacks, remember when I showed the popcorn the clown sprayed Debbie with moving earlier? Well, if you were wondering where that was going, somewhere weird, that's where. Oh shit, Debbie's getting attacked by the Charles Band cash-in of this movie. Clown ghoulies. You know, what does it say that that's not even the weirdest thing I've seen come out of a toilet in a movie I've done on my show? Hopefully somebody shows up soon to help her out.
Debbie, it's Mike, open up!
Mike?
Bye! Gotcha, bitch!
Rather than give her the cotton candy treatment, the clowns instead encase Debbie in a giant clown testicle. Oh, sorry, my mistake, it's a balloon. Hey, Debbie, do you float?
Come on, we can't lose them, they got Debbie!
Fun fact about clown cars, not only can they pack in a whole lot of clowns, but also a surprising amount of horsepower. Thankfully, Dave shows up again to give them all tickets for speeding up the film.
Hey, Rich, the cops, stop the truck!
You bozos! Great, now how are they supposed to find out where they took Debbie?
If you were a clown, where would you hide?
The amusement park.
Of course, they hid the spaceship in the most obvious place. It makes perfect sense. I think. Now that I get a closer look, it kinda looks like the clowns took the pants of various 80s metal bands and made them into a car. And did somebody say clown gags?
What are you gonna do with those pies, boys?
Well, you shouldn't have said that. Fun fact, the Chiodos originally wanted to get comedian Soupy Sales to play the guard, but the movie's backers refused because they thought audiences wouldn't know who he was. And if any of you watching are wondering just who Soupy Sales is, that means the financiers were probably right. Now that the guard's taken care of, the clowns can enter the funhouse and recruit another evil clown from an Are You Afraid of the Dark episode. While our heroes try to find Debbie, might as well pass the time speculating about the clowns.
Maybe they're the ancient astronauts, you know, that came to our planet centuries ago. And our idea of clowns just comes from them. How come they're not funny?
Oh, I don't know. So far, I think they're pretty funny.
Maybe they're from a dying planet. Maybe their son pooped out and they need a new place to live.
Look, guys, don't bother speculating. I mean, they're clowns, they're from outer space. I don't need to know much more than that to enjoy this. Whoa, careful fellas. Judging by that smoke, the Chiodos are busy thinking up ideas for this movie in the next room. And if you think I'm exaggerating, just watch this next part. I would say that's ridiculous, but if the internet's taught me anything, it's that monster clown fetishes are probably a real thing. Mike and Dave investigate the spaceship and finally learn the terrifying reason the clowns are on Earth. It's so they can harvest people for food? I guess? I don't know, it's killer clowns from outer space. Do you really need an explanation for why any of this is happening? Quick, better get Debbie out of that clown testicle and get the hell out of here.
Hey, we were about to turn her into corn dogs and ship them off to Oscar Mayer.
Alright, don't think you're gonna escape that easily. The Chiodo brothers worked very hard on these clown effects, and you're not leaving until we show off all of them. Once again, despite the low budget, the Chiodos do succeed in making the movie look and feel like being inside a demented funhouse.
I can't take this anymore!
Come on, open the door!
Another door!
Hey, a polka dot door. Is Pokeroo inside that spaceship somewhere? Sorry, Canadian kid show reference. You know what? Forget it, I'll just keep going. Oh shit, they're trapped! There's clowns everywhere! This is even worse than when they attended the gathering at the Juggalos. Although at least this time they probably won't end up covered in Faygo. How the hell are they gonna get out of this?
Stop! Leave them alone! Do what I say or else!
Ah yes, as we all know, clowns are powerless to disobey the word of their god, Sweet Tooth. But you can't leave just yet. The Chiodos still need to show off their greatest clown monster of all.
What the hell is that?
It's Clownzilla, that's what. Wait, Clown Kong? Does that sound better? Eh, whatever, both names work. In any case, I'm glad somebody finally realized the two comic relief characters aren't nearly as amusing as the clowns and decided to get rid of them.
Look, there's a way out now. Mike, take Debbie, get her out of here. I'll draw its attention.
No! Dave, don't!
we can't, Debbie.
Sure you can, just run. Or fine, sacrifice yourself. You know, considering you're supposed to be the douchebag ex-boyfriend character, you are being way too likable right now. Mike and Debbie escape, but what's Dave gonna do?
Come on, you damn clown.
Smile, you big top bitch! And I do mean big top because it turns out that's exactly what the clown's spaceship is. And come on, Dave, you shot the clown's noses before. How are you not able to hit one the size of a medicine ball? Police badges. The clown's one weakness. So the clown's spaceship is destroyed, thus saving the Earth from the silliest alien invasion not led by John Travolta. I gotta say though, it is kinda sad that Dave had to sacrifice himself in order to save everybody.
Dave!
Okay, sure, fine. All things considered, Dave surviving is one of the least implausible things about this movie. Oh, and I guess these two also survived. God damn it. But considering this is an 80s horror flick, that means we gotta end on a sequel hook.
Do you think it's over?
Yeah, sure.
Congratulations, everyone. You just watched the least dirty video on the internet that ends with a cream pie. While not exactly a monster hit at the box office, Killer Klowns from Outer Space almost immediately became a word-of-mouth cult sensation, because come on, with a name like that, how could it not? The title should tell you all you need to know about what you're getting here. It's a completely ridiculous movie that never once takes itself seriously and instead just has fun with how ridiculous it is. Like I said earlier, a lot of the movie consists of the clowns messing with people in various absurd ways, with the human plotline basically just being a thin framework to hang these all on. But it doesn't matter. In a movie called Killer Klowns from Outer Space, you're gonna want to keep the focus on the clowns. Most of the human characters are kinda bland anyway, with the exception of John Vernon, who decides to swing for the fences and chew the scenery with his role. The clowns are memorable, the gags are clever, and it also knows not to stretch its premise too far and clocks in at under 90 minutes. Which is more than I can say for some evil clown movies. Even though I joked about a sequel hook, a sequel has been in development for several years called Return of the Killer Klowns from Outer Space in 3D, which the Chiodo say would actually be the first in a planned trilogy of sequels, as well as possibly doing a Killer Klowns TV series. Damn, who knew the Killer Klowns universe was so ripe for expansion? Well, if they are gonna make a sequel, now would be the perfect time to do it since evil clown movies have really exploded in the past few years. Seriously, I think there's almost as many horror movies about clowns as there are about sharks now. And considering crossover movies are also popular, I wonder how long until we get a Sharknado vs. Clownnado movie. Well, guess I'll have to cover that one too. Well, that's all for now. Until next time.
Make a dummy out of yourself. But you're not gonna make a dummy out of me.